Angel Reese says WNBA players could go on strike over salary and benefits.
Just look at a player like Angel Reese, right? I think at this point, it is fair to say that she is a household name. She will make less than $75,000 on her current salary within the WNBA.
Possibility. Reese has been vocal about her low WNBA salary, revealing her $74,000 a year salary doesn't cover rent, stating on Instagram Live, "I just hope you know that the WNBA doesn't pay my bills at all. I don't even think they pay one of my bills."
What I'll also say is this: every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlin Clark doesn't get injured, because she's keeping your league afloat.
I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out. That's a possibility, for real.
Angel Reese just threatened to shut down the entire WNBA? Yes, seriously. But what if her strike talk backfires in a way no one's ready for? This isn't just another athlete venting frustrations online. It's a case of a rookie star attempting to flip the script on an entire league and accidentally exposing the cracks behind the flashy outfits, social media clout, and podcast appearances. Angel Reese is facing a brutal truth. Professional sports don't run on hashtags. They run on dollars, and the WNBA is running on empty. At LSU, Angel was a walking headline. She earned over $18 million through NIL deals with Reebok, McDonald's, Coach, PlayStation, you name it. She was the Bayou Barbie, a brand in sneakers, but fast forward to her WNBA rookie season, and she's making just $74,000 a year. Sounds like a decent check to most of us, but to Angel, it's barely enough to cover her Chicago rent.
I just hope y'all know, the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. I'm gonna do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is I don't even know my salary.
On Instagram Live, she dropped the bomb. "I just hope you know that the WNBA doesn't pay my bills at all. I don't even think they pay one of my bills." That quote didn't just raise eyebrows. It ignited a firestorm. And what came next made it even hotter. Reese went from financial complaints to full-on threats. "If we don't get paid what we deserve, we'll sit out," she declared. In other words, strike. The backlash was immediate. Commentators, fans, and financial experts all chimed in, but no one broke it down quite like Patrick Bet David. He didn't just criticize, he dismantled her case with surgical precision. He started with the numbers. The WNBA is losing around $50 million every single year. That's not a business model. It's a slow bleed, and when a business is hemorrhaging cash, the last thing it can afford is handing out raises. Bet David compared Angel's threat to someone demanding a promotion at a job that's laying off staff. "You don't get raises in a business that's losing money. You get pink slips," he said. The reality is simple. The WNBA isn't profitable. It never has been. Since its inception in 1997, the league has operated at a loss. The NBA pours in tens of millions each year just to keep it afloat. That's not partnership, it's life support. So when Angel Reese suggests a player strike, she's not flexing power. She's poking holes in the boat that's barely staying above water. But it gets deeper. The tension isn't just financial, it's generational, and it's personal. Enter Caitlin Clark. While Angel is on Instagram talking about bills and brands, Caitlin is quietly changing the entire trajectory of the league. She's not just a rookie, she's a phenomenon. Attendance at WNBA games surged 48% last season. A record 2.3 million fans packed arenas. Viewership on ESPN exploded 170%. Merch sales jumped 61%. That's not just growth, that's transformation. Clark's debut with the Indiana Fever was the most watched WNBA in over 20 years, drawing 2.13 million viewers on ESPN2. For context, the average WNBA key drew around 9,000 viewers in 2022. That's more than a 460% spike when Clark plays. She didn't just boost the Fever, she boosted the entire league. She also became the first rookie in WNBA history to ink a multi-million-dollar Nike signature shoe deal before ever playing a professional game. Add in partnerships with State Farm, Gatorade, Xfinity, Panini America, and Bose, and you've got a rookie with more brand clout than some league veterans. Clark's social media presence exploded as well. Her Instagram following jumped from under 200K during her junior season at Iowa to over 2 million by the start of her WNBA career. She ranks in the top 5 for WNBA jersey sales, despite being in her first year. But her influence doesn't end there. Caitlin Clark's rivalry with Angel Reese traces back to college, where they first clashed in the NCAA women's tournament. Their on-court battles were fiery, emotional, and must-watch television. Reese famously taunted Clark in the national championship game, pointing to her ring finger and mocking Clark's celebratory gestures. That moment exploded on social media, creating a narrative of beef between the two that only grew as they both entered the league. Clark, though, has rarely fed into the drama. Asked about the taunt, she said, "I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. We're all just competitors. She played a great game." That quote earned her even more fans and helped solidify her image as a humble, focused professional. Meanwhile, Reese leaned into the persona, launching her own podcast, taking digs at critics, and doubling down on her brand as a disruptor. But the numbers speak louder than the noise. According to Front Office Sports, Clark generated over $3.1 million in earned media value in her first 2 months as a pro. That's more than the combined total of the top 5 WNBA veterans. And the ripple effects have reached deep into free agency. Star veterans are now openly discussing where Clark might land in future seasons, not just for on-court synergy, but for visibility. Playing alongside Clark means more media coverage, better endorsement opportunities, and packed home games. For the first time in years, WNBA free agency is driven by the star power of a rookie. Clark has unintentionally become a recruiting tool. Some agents are advising their clients to consider market size and Caitlin's schedule when deciding where to sign. Opposing teams have even adjusted their season ticket pricing based on when Clark is in town. In 2024 free agency, several mid-tier players chose to sign one-year deals instead of long-term contracts, hoping to realign their availability with Clark's contract cycles. The idea is simple. Align with Clark, and you align with the spotlight. Teams like the Phoenix Mercury and Atlanta Dream are openly talking about roster construction through the lens of marketability. As one GM put it anonymously, the Caitlin Clark effect is real. If you don't plan for it, you're falling behind. But Clark's presence hasn't just created buzz. It's triggered a wave of resentment among some WNBA veterans who feel like they've been overlooked. One of the most public examples came from Las Vegas Aces star Aja Wilson, who made headlines with a comment that many interpreted as a thinly veiled jab at Clark. "Some of us had to work for everything we got. No cameras, no extra attention, just grind." Another came from an interview with a former MVP who said, "The league is pushing one face now, but don't forget who built this league before the spotlight showed up." On social media, things have gotten even more blunt. Posts and quote tweets from some current players seem to suggest that Clark is only getting attention because of her race. The implication being that a black player with her same stats wouldn't have received the same media treatment. That narrative, while sensitive, has sparked intense debate among fans and media. Some argue that Clark's numbers speak for themselves, while others question the motives behind her meteoric rise. Yet, despite the criticism, Clark hasn't lashed out. She hasn't clapped back. In press conferences, she keeps the focus on the game. "I'm just here to play basketball," she told ESPN. "I know there's always going to be noise, but that's not why I do this." Still, the shade hasn't stopped. Clark has been on the receiving end of unusually physical play. In one game, she was knocked to the floor without a foul call, and the clip went viral for all the wrong reasons. Commentators called it unnecessary, fans called it jealousy in motion, and it fed a growing narrative that Clark was being targeted. Some players even joked online about welcoming rookies to the league the hard way. But when the rookie in question is bringing millions of new eyeballs to the sport, that kind of message doesn't sit well. Instead of embracing her as a rising tide that lifts all boats, some in the WNBA have treated Clark like a threat, like an outsider, like someone who hasn't earned it yet. But here's the twist: she has, not through tenure, but through impact, through ticket sales, broadcast ratings, merch revenue, and cultural relevance. Clark has become the name casual fans know, the bridge between the WNBA and the mainstream. While veterans gripe about fairness, Clark is playing the long game, building something bigger, and in doing so, she's exposing a truth no one wants to say out loud. The WNBA doesn't need more drama. It needs more Caitlin Clarks. If the league can't rally around its most bankable star, if it can't put egos aside to build something lasting, then it risks losing the very momentum it so desperately needs. The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, has big plans, expansion teams, longer seasons, new TV deals. But it all depends on profitability, and profitability depends on players like Clark, not controversy. Here's the truth. If Angel Reese wants a raise, she needs to help build the house before demanding a penthouse. You don't get a bigger slice of the pie when there is no pie. You help bake one first. Right now, the WNBA is on the brink. It's got momentum, yes, but also decades of financial baggage. The NBA has been carrying this league like a toddler in a backpack, and Caitlin Clark might finally be the reason they don't drop it. So here's the real question. Will the WNBA rally behind what's working or sabotage its own progress with infighting, envy, and entitlement? Angel Reese may think she's the main character, but in this story, Caitlin Clark is the reason anyone's watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's next. Because the next chapter in women's basketball, it's already being written, and you'll want front row seats.